It's the vlogging Colonel. This is the Colonel's vlog. Welcome everyone. Here at the Veterans Memorial Park in Jeffersontown, Kentucky. I've seen this place driving by. I never knew what it was. Didn't know there was a park back here. This is the Veterans Memorial Plaza. But you can see the helicopter will go back over there. I've always seen those. Didn't realize there was a park though. I just thought it was like a National Guard depot or something like that. I don't know. But no, they've got a really cool park, very beautiful park, right over the hill. Never knew. This cool display right in the beginning. Got the Army, Marine Corps, Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard. No Space Force. What is this? Space Force chopped liver? You're gonna go up there?
I'm gonna try.
Parkour it. Crawling all over the Veterans Monument. Yeah. Super cool little spot here. Over here they've got a bunch of different types of things just on display. Here's a children's park back the other way. A nice little playground area. Down over here, see a gazebo there. I guess we're gonna see it here. There's a lower land with a creek running through it. The Trian Monument. Trian? See what that is. The phrase Trian means deep gratitude in Vietnamese. Deep gratitude, we honor a debt that can never be repaid. This is a monument tribute to the millions of Americans, Vietnamese, and allies who fought together to halt communist aggression and give the Vietnamese people a chance at freedom. From the early days of the war to the massive exodus of refugees fleeing communism after the fall of Saigon, the monument features stories and photographs of courage and sacrifice, hope, camaraderie, and compassion. There's a little code there. I don't know if you can get that on your thing, but I'll give you a audio tour explaining more about this. My daughter doesn't have her skateboard, so she's just freestyling, I guess. Got how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 pillars. For thousands of years, most Vietnamese lived their entire life at the same village where they were born. Land reform in communist China in 1949 was replicated by the communists, aimed to eliminate the entire class of landowners. In many cases, they would be tried and executed summarily. Typical Dao 2 or public condemnation seen during the land reform in North Vietnam, 1953. Sorry for the glare, it's always glares. Vietnamese refugees aboard the U.S. Navy LST-516 during Operation Passage to Freedom in 1954. The U.S. Special Forces advisor teaches Montagnard tribesmen the finer points of aiming and using the rifle. U.S. Marines splashed ashore from a landing vessel north of Da Nang, 1965. Terrifying. U.S. Army nurses at the 93rd Evacuation Hospital in Long Bean, stabilizing a patient, 65, sorry. American infantrymen crowd into a mud-filled bomb crater to look up at tall jungle trees to locate enemy snipers. Unable to touch down on narrow hilltops, giant Chinook helicopters dropped the 5th Battalion, 7th Cavalry soldiers by ladders. Participate in Operation Thayer 2 near Bon Song, 1967. I hate that the glare's so bad. It's bad just standing here looking at it. You would think by now museum exhibits and stuff like this would have learned to use glare resistant finishes, because it does exist. Makes it possible to see. This is South Vietnamese troops celebrating the recapture of Hoi after one of the bloodiest battles of the Vietnam War in 1968. Major Norman Schwarzkopf, the Vietnamese paratrooper, assist a wounded comrade. He wrote a really good book I read in high school. Samuel Lee Davis, PFC. A little bit of artistic licensure.
Do you know if the columns have any special meaning?
I'm sure that they do, but I don't know what they are.
They don't say
They don't. There's no
anything,
marker. I was hoping I'd get down there and find out.
It's such an amazing. I've lived here for years, and
I think it's this. I think it represents the 8 countries involved, because there's 8 of those. I'm guessing that's probably what it is.
Yes, that's very good. Thank you.
Yeah. South Vietnamese troops and their U.S. advisors rest after a night of waiting in ambush position. 1972. An hour later, they moved out for another long, hot day hunting elusive Viet Cong. This is Mehdi Thomas Cole, wounded in the head, continuing to treat a wounded staff sergeant. South Vietnam Marine severely wounded. A communist ambush. U.S. Army medic wrapping the arm of a wounded soldier. It's amazing pictures and explanations here. Paratroopers of the 173rd Airborne team up with South Vietnamese Ranger to prepare a base for a new school. Staff Sergeant Bobby Cook comforts a Vietnamese woman after evacuating her from a village during Operation Hood River, 1967. And they just go on. Look at them all. Can't read every single one of them, but for the sake of the vlog. This is a Vietnamese poem thanking the American soldiers. How many Thanksgivings will it take to fully thank the Americans of so many years ago? In the midst of fighting of great danger, you rescued children despite fear of foe. Simple tale of pure humanity. As bullets flew between life and death, the Vietnamese people and the American soldiers once shared the sufferings that we will not forget. You may no longer be alive. You may be now too sick or too old to remember the war you once fought, to remember the children you used to hold. But we, Vietnamese, will never forget. When we look back at these acts of humanity during the season of Thanksgiving, we thank you, American soldiers who came to our war-torn country. Vietnamese poem by Yugen, Dang Duong. You have these 8 pillars that lady was asking about, and I think they relate to the 8 nations who sacrificed for saving Vietnam from communism successfully. Although some will debate whether that was a war you could win, the objectives were ultimately accomplished. This is a quote by President Kennedy. Let every nation know, whether it wishes us well or ill, that we shall pay any price, bear any burden, meet any hardship, support any friend, oppose any foe, in order to assure the survival and the success of liberty. Don't listen to what the communists say. Watch closely what the communists do. That was the president of Vietnam. So yes, these are the countries represented in those 8 columns. 2 million deployed, 58,000 killed in the U.S. Thailand deployed 40,000, lost 350. Vietnam deployed 1.5 million, lost 300,000. Philippines deployed 10,000, lost 9. The Republic of Korea and South Korea deployed 320,000 and lost 5. New Zealand deployed 3,800, lost 83. Australia deployed 61,000, lost 521. And Taiwan deployed 1,000, killed 25. At that time, Taiwan was called the Republic of China. And there's that beautiful parkland down there. There's a beautiful creek, big creek. Lots of seating, gazebos, various things. Shiver me timbers. Oh, a torpedo here. A little World War II memorial here. Submarine losses. 41 through 45. It's kind of hard to read. Cool as that. U.S. submarine service. Mark 14 torpedo, primary underwater weapon used by subs. Defeat the enemy during World War II. Howitzer. Alright. I don't know what these are called. Howitzers. Field artillery. Yeah, 155 millimeter howitzer. She packs a punch. He packs a punch. Super cool. She hit her target. This is what I've always seen from the road. And I just thought it was kind of a lone statue up here on the hill. Never realized there was a whole park here right behind it. What do you say? Right? Super cool though. Those modern cameras there. Looks like they are. Can't really see them. There's a lot of names here in the bricks. Oh, he's coming right. It's UH-1H Huey. Dedicated to honor the service and sacrifices of the Army aviation personnel who served in Asia during the Vietnam War. 61 through 75. Memorial to the Gold Star families. Beautiful memorial there. Oh, okay, I see. I was like, what is that? I guess it's a soldier. Doing the whole salute thing there. Super cool. What has got a tank? What has got a tank? There are a few things more fascinating as a kid when you see an army tank in the wild. Army tanks and rocket ships. And in Georgia there used to be a old Brewster engine. We passed it and I thought it was so cool. This is an M60 dedicated to the armor veterans. Fallen Warrior Memorial. Oh, yes. These are all veterans here. And all these walkways have names in the bricks. And then when you first come in, these flanking AA guns, anti-aircraft. Kind of remind me of what you'd see on the ice planet of Hoth. Fighting the Empire. Which is, I guess, what they did. 50 cal naval deck guns. If you've seen Pearl Harbor, you've seen something like this in action. And shoot down those kamikazes before they come home to roost. Lay an egg in your nest. It's not what you wanted. I'd come and bomb the out of you. Shit. Alright, folks. I think that's all the main stuff up here. But again, there's a whole park around here. Lots of areas for kids, bathrooms, picnics, all the things. And until we meet again, this is the Colonel, wishing you guys love. And we're pooped. Gonna have to turn in this vlog. It's going on liberty. Thank you for all those who served.